Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Psychosins Psychoanalysis here on the Psychosin Project channel on YouTube. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by Enslaved called In Times. Now, for those of you who don't know who Enslaved are, well, let me tell you. Enslaved were formed in 1991 by Ivar Bjornsson and Grutel Kjeldsen and hail from Bergen. The current members include Cato Beckervold, Ice Dahl and Herbrand Larsen. Over the years they've become one of the leading lights of the entire black metal and indeed extreme metal scene, with albums such as Isa, Rune, Vertebrae, Frost and their last album Ritir adding to the scope of their sound and adding progressive elements helping to push the boundaries of what is considered black metal today. They also at one point had Emperor drummer Trim as part of their ranks. The first song on the album is called Thurisaz Dreaming. Now this starts with ethereal sounds and a scream as the band comes in at full force, sounding like classic old school Enslaved before they brought in the progressive elements to their sound. But we break down to just a single guitar in the background playing the main riff, then the drums come in and the clean singing comes in too to add a superb extra layer and texture to the song as a mid-paced riff plays in the background. The black metal styled vocals come back in over the main riff, helping to drive the song along at an awesome pace. We get a chaotic guitar solo being played in the background, then a chorus joins into the sound, adding another element to this song as the clean vocalist begins singing again. We return to the full-on black metal blasting and riffs from the beginning of the song. The chorus joins back in over that superb riff and drumming for the last minute of the song, which then leads to the end of the tune. The second track is called Building with Fire. Now this starts with more ethereal sounds until the drum kicks in and we're into a very straightforward, almost immortal sounding driving black metal riff. The clean vocals take the lead this time first, start dripping with emotion. We then kick into the heavier vocals over a superb new riff and melody. We return to the main riff and the clean vocals again being driven along with a superb bass line as well. A guitar solo comes in over the top once the clean vocals are finished and add to the overall feeling in the song, adding another layer to this song's genius. We break down to just drums and that superb driving bass line with keyboards adding a subtle layer to the background. Then clean guitar play a few notes over the top. The heavy guitars come crashing back in along with a new bass melody on the second guitar, playing along with the bass melody until all guitars and bass are back to a heavy riff with vocals adding to the mix. The clean vocals come back for another run through of the chorus to this song to take us through to the end of the song in absolutely beautiful fashion. All the instruments stop and we're back to the industrial sounds from the beginning of this song. Up next is a song that many of you may have already heard as it was released about a couple of weeks ago as a lyric video on YouTube. This is 1000 Years of Rain. Now this starts with a slightly distorted guitar playing a melody sounding like it's being transmitted through a shopping centre tannoy. Tell I'm English, can't you? Then odd bits of bass and drums joining occasionally along with spoken word parts from the vocalist. The guitar then starts playing the riff to the song and the drums roll and the whole band joins in along with those heavy black metal vocals. Again, incredible use of change between the heavy vocals and clean vocals on this song being used to superb effect. There's great use of keyboards to complement the riff and add to the atmosphere of the song. Clean vocals come in again, adding a very mournful feel to the song. We then go into a mid-paced riff with the clean vocals over the top. A spiralling up and down riff takes us back to the heavy vocals and continues the progressive feel to the song with added choral singers. We break down to a single guitar playing the melody from the beginning of the song and then drum roll and back to the fast main riff. This leads us through to a very sudden ending. Up next is Now They're Bleeding. I'm going to say now, if I'm actually pronouncing any of these names wrong, I do apologise. Obviously, I'm English, therefore I don't quite know how to properly pronounce some of this stuff. Anyway, this starts with a single clean guitar and drums playing a very upbeat style melody with added keyboard notes in the background being played. The clean vocals then join in over the top with occasional bits of heavy riff being played every now and again. That heavy riff then kicks in fully with crashing drums and a swelling keyboard in the background. We then go into military style drumming and stop-start riff from the guitars, which stops suddenly as the heavy vocals fade in and the whole band crashes back in at higher speed. A slow selection of spiralling up notes then takes us back into a heavy riff. Halfway through we slow down to a mid-paced riff and clean vocals over the top. Guitar solo then comes in while the band still plays and that mid-paced riff from before. Then we're back down to a single guitar with occasional drum and bass breaks, which leads us back to the heavy riff from before and heavy vocals. The ascending and descending notes of the guitar and bass takes us through to the end of the song, and then it fades out. Up next is the title track, In Times. Now this starts with an acoustic guitar, then instantly into a stop-start heavy guitar riff and bass guitar melody in the background. Ethereal vocals add to the feel of the song in the background. Second guitar comes in, playing a different melody with echo effects over the top of it. After 2.5 minutes we kick into a heavy riff and the vocals come in. We then kick into a high-speed riff with clean vocals over the top, again helping to vary the song up to superb effect. Halfway through we break down to the clean vocalist harmonising with himself, sounding almost Beatles-esque in fact, with a slower stop-start riff playing, and then the wandering bass returns back into this song. We're then down to keyboards, drums and a solo guitar playing a melody in the background until the clean vocals come back in. After with this we fade to almost nothing. The band kicks back in at high gear with another superbly heavy black metal riff, with the heavy vocals coming in after a few bars. I have no idea why I did that when I said the words black metal. It's the black metal clause apparently. Anyway, for the last minute of the song we're down to a stop-start riff and clean choir-like vocals adding to the atmosphere and leading us through to the end of the song. The last song on the album is called Daylight. Now this starts with a mid-paced riff backed up by a keyboard melody. Choir comes in singing along to the riff. The guitars and drums start to gain a bit of pace, making it sound like you're being chased and running. A sweeping riff comes in and heavy vocals kick in, joined by the choir style vocals again in the background. At 3 minutes we break down to just a single guitar playing a different melody. A second acoustic guitar joins in, playing along to the melody with the odd different note being played every now and again. And then the drums join in, playing slowly along with the guitars, giving a feeling of the calm after the storm. A heavy guitar kicks in, playing the melody of the acoustic guitars with clean vocals over the top. Guitar solo comes in, playing slowly and adding to the almost calming atmosphere of the melody. We're down to just acoustic guitars as the clean vocals sing along. An almost Devin Townsend style riff then kicks in and builds up with bass and drums joining in. Then we're back to the heavy black metal style riff from before, and once again the heavy vocals return, courtesy of Grutal Kjellson. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I do apologise if I got that wrong. Anyway, mid-paced riff plays over and over and takes us through to the end of the album, where it suddenly stops and we are left with the calming sound of silence. Well, they did it again. Another epic, sweeping, beautiful album of perfectly played and arranged progressive black metal. Not one single wasted note or song on this album. Although the songs may seem long, as you listen to them, you usually feel they are over way too soon. In fact, as I was listening to this album, it really didn't feel as long as as the album is. In fact, there's 1 or 2 songs that are about 9 to 10 minutes long, and they felt like they were over in about 3 minutes. All the songs seem to mix the whole grimness of their old albums such as Frost and the new progressive elements from more recent albums such as Ritir and Isa. It's another superb album that demands repeated listens and rewards you as well for those repeated listens. Definitely make sure you don't miss out on this album. It's out now and very possibly an album of the year, and we're only in March, we shall see. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching another episode of Psychosin Psychoanalysis here on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe. Good night everyone.